What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to DR Sports. We're here for the big fight live. It is Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. But the question is, will Teofimo loop his right hand round the jaw of Josh Taylor today? We have a star-studded panel up at 3:45 a.m. to watch the fight with you lot. We have Nick below me. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I've got allergies in my eyes. So I've got to put on my sunglasses. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's allergic to the cats in his house, so he does have to wear shades. It's
cats
not
in my
because
house.
he's
I'm
a
allergic,
gangster from the
eyes.
Bronx, but he is allergic. And we got my boy Laurie down in the corner there. How are you, bro?
I'm all right, man. Just fresh back from Box Park in Croydon, where we watched Man City crown themselves champion of Europe. Very, very good night. You were there as well, James. Had a very good night. Very entertaining.
It was a great night. Thank you to Box Park for that.
The night was better than the game, I have to say.
I was going to say, I was there too, bro. Why just...
Oh, yeah.
We can't recognize you with the shades on, mate. That's what it is.
No. Sorry about that, Nick. Yeah, of course you were there. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. We all had a very good night.
Yeah,
it was a phenomenal. Like you say, the game wasn't
great.
The game was the typical KG final, Champions League final kind of game, but the event. Thank you so much again to Box Park for hosting us there, and it was. I mean, I had a great time with you lot. Like I said, it was a phenomenal time with the boys. As I'm sure we're gonna have a phenomenal hour or so here tonight watching the big fight. And to my left, sorry, I haven't introduced you that last, but very much not least, the boxing expert himself, Shane. How are you, bro?
What's up, man? What's up? I'm looking forward to this fight as well. I know you guys went Box Park, but I'm more
of a boxing park kind of guy.
Not even that. I don't really care about Man City. I'm a United fan, so I'm thinking more about boxing. I'm trying to ignore Man City's success right now.
Shane, did you watch Sonny Edwards?
I watched like highlights. I didn't even watch the fight, but there wasn't much highlights to go on based on what I told you. I told you guys he's gonna bore the place out, but it's what it is.
Well, I think the words were he's more entertaining out of the ring than in the ring. Did those words hold true come the fight?
Of course they hold true, because I said it. I'm the voice of reason for a reason.
You know what I mean? Well, did you? Well, as someone who saw the fight, would those words have held true, Shane?
I didn't watch all of the fight, but I
was reliably informed that it was a snore fest, an absolute snooze fest. In fact, I think I'm right in saying that Sonny Edwards himself described the fight as boring. So that tells you everything you need to know.
No, but his fight.
With Sonny Edwards, what I would say is this: if you're going to go around chatting shit, pushing people, and taking their hat off and throwing it on the ground and telling people that you were molded in violence and I come from violence, and then when the fight starts, you're flitting around the ring, flicking out jabs. That's not going to wash. So we had a go at Boxer and Lawrence Okoli a couple of weeks ago. They said he made the big signing, went over to Boxer and stunk the joint out. So it's only fair that we should call out Sonny Edwards for a similar thing.
True. The only difference is Sonny Edwards hasn't had a colossal marketing campaign around him. It's not like every single time you turn on. Well, as in you're going to put Lawrence Okoli. You're going to put Lawrence, whether it matters or not. But you're not going to put Lawrence. You're not going to put him under as much scrutiny as Lawrence Okoli, because every time you turn your phone on, you see a video of Lawrence Okoli on your phone. You don't see the
no
same
one cares about that. Listen. Forget about the market.
Going to put him under more scrutiny.
Listen, hold on. Just calm down. I know you've had a couple beers. Just relax.
Well, no, don't try the couple of beers card on me.
What I'm saying
is, the shades down there.
Sonny Edwards is a very good technical boxer, where Lawrence Okoli isn't. So the expectation we have of Sonny Edwards as a boxer is a lot higher. So if we seem harsh or we're not being very favorable, and if Sonny Edwards sees this video, I would like him and his fans to know that it's because we do think he's a talented boxer, and we expect good performances from him. Lawrence
Okoli's a talented boxer.
What we expected.
I think that's the biggest difference. The fact that Sonny Edwards is just at a higher level than Lawrence Okoli, so our expectations are higher. But I also feel like when you look at the fact that Sonny Edwards is fighting at a weight class where stereotypically you're not going to get much knockouts anyway, the expectation also is reduced as well. Like that,
Yeah,
you don't expect him to knock people out.
You're right up to a point, but what I'm saying is Sonny Edwards has a problem insofar as with those lower weights, right? Let's be honest, they're not as attractive to watch as the bigger guys, right? So he's already up against it in that respect. He signed a new deal with Eddie Hearn and co. This was the first fight of his new deal. He's been talking wicked, let's be honest. In the lead up to this fight, he was telling everyone that he's the most talented fighter, blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, he is very talented. So he was under pressure to produce tonight. Not only that, his antics before the fight with this guy Campos, calling him names, trying to intimidate him at press conference, saying he was going to smoke him, rare, throwing the man's hat off, acting very aggressive, telling everybody that he's molded in violence. And then you get in the ring and you perform in a lackluster way. That is not very good for your long-term brand. So
No, but do you think that because he's talked more, he has to perform more in the ring?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If you market yourself in a certain way, and then you go in there and you put everyone to sleep, that is not a good look.
I hear that, which is what made a phenomena like Conor McGregor so great, is the fact that he called it out, but he also backed it up in the ring, which is obviously a key part of it, although I struggle to find too much of a detriment in someone that is at least making it entertaining outside the ring with his trash talk and the other antics, because at least then there's half the aspect of the fight, which is a very important aspect of the fight that he is getting me excited for. But speaking of someone that is very good at hyping a fight out.
If you're going to simp for Conor McGregor.
I'm not. There's nothing.
When we're doing an MMA stream, and two, the Conor McGregor you're talking about, the Jose Aldo days and all that. That's
long gone Conor McGregor. Well, we'll have to see whether
Conor McGregor
builds that. Well, we'll have to see whether he can or not. But it was just a case study. I wasn't saying Conor McGregor as the be-all end-all or making a huge comparison. It was just a case study. But as I was saying, speaking of someone that is very good at selling a fight, very good at his trash talk. Some people like it, some people hate it. Is himself Teofimo Lopez, who as well has marketed himself as a bit of a killer, but has found himself also in a bit of a slump right now. Do you think he really needs this Josh Taylor fight? If he doesn't win this Josh Taylor fight, is Teofimo Lopez really at a point of no returns?
It's just classic of a Conor McGregor fan to think that racism is.
Why are we talking about racism, and why are we saying I'm a Conor McGregor fan? These, again, are two wildly irrelevant accusations. I'm not talking anything about racism, and I'm not talking anything about that. I didn't say anything about my own personal opinion. I'm going to twist this into me being racist.
I didn't say you were racist. That's not what I said. You sounded very guilty.
You said I found racism entertaining.
Listen, you
said typical of a Conor McGregor fan to find racism entertaining.
Lopez is great at selling a fight, and he's been in the last two statements he made. One was about killing someone, and the other one was a racist statement. So those are the last two things that he did that got himself into the media. Do you know what I'm saying? So
the definitive last two statements he said. I watched an entire press conference that he did where he came out with quite a few entertaining things. I'm saying some people like it, some people loathe it. He's a good trash talker.
Can we focus on this fight, please? Well,
that's what I'm saying. No focus on the fight. I'm saying, is this a point of no returns for Teofimo Lopez?
I think you're right. I think this is a crossroads fight. I think whoever loses tonight, I'm not saying it's the end of their careers, but they would have taken a serious step back. Serious. Whoever loses this fight tonight, especially if they lose it convincingly. And that applies to either man. If either one of them gets smoked or get beaten comprehensively, it's a long way back to the top of the tree. Long way back.
I think the fight will be competitive. I don't think it'll be one-sided. It's just whether or not someone.
I strongly disagree with that.
I don't think it's just what it is. Yeah, I think it could be competitive, but then Teofimo, even if it is competitive, Teofimo could just end up getting memed at the end of the night, bro.
Teofimo Lopez hasn't shown me anything in his last 3 fights that this guy can do anything at the top level. So I'm unless the only way this fight is competitive is if Josh Taylor has regressed so drastically. That's what I think.
If Teofimo Lopez is, as you're predicting, will happen to lose, is he completely done at the top level? Do you see a way in which it is feasible for him to market himself at the top level in order to get these
He
big
can
fights?
always market himself because he's a former he's a former unified champion. So he's always going to be marketable to a certain degree, and he's always going to talk a lot of trash.
Off the back of that unconvincing Sandor Martin win, and off the back of a possible defeat today, is it possible for him to even market himself like that?
No, but the thing is, after this fight, even if he loses, he can say, "Well, I lost to the best guy at 140 pounds." The fact is, he can't get the only. For me, I don't look at it as him going any further back, because I genuinely thought he looked so bad in the Sandor Martin fight that him fighting at the top level was going to be far away from, like, I didn't see him fighting at the top level anytime soon. So the fact that he's fighting at the top level now,
agree with that. I reckon if he gets smoked tonight, it's over for him. You're already hearing a lot of people talk about he's got mental issues, mental fragility. I think he needs this fight more than Josh Taylor, to me. If he even though he's only 25 and he's been a former champion, if he loses tonight, I'm seriously doubting whether he can get back on the top rung of boxing.
He has as well. Is like his stock will be so damaged that the guys that are at the top, he won't be that. What he's going to lose is, at the moment, he's still just about a good solid benchmark. Yeah. But he'll lose that benchmark status if he loses tonight. And
I think if Josh Taylor was to lose tonight, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but I think that he will start saying, "Oh, I was dead at the weight. I need to move up to 147."
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
If Theo loses, I mean, he used that excuse when he lost to Cambosos. So he's already put that one out there. Josh Taylor has that, excuse. Not that I'm a big fan of excuse makers. But Teofimo Lopez, if he loses tonight, especially if he loses and it's in a close fight, fine. Then he can come back. But if he gets smoked or he gets beaten comprehensively, it's a long way back for him.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But I think that's a great segue into my next question. Sorry, as we do look at some pre-fight interviews here. The next fight coming up of the night is Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. We are closing in very, very briefly on the main event. Before we do get in there, obviously, you guys unanimously decided that this was going to be a Josh Taylor victory, and you've given your reasons as to why. But before we do get into those predictions, do you see any slight chance of Teofimo Lopez performing at this weight and causing Josh Taylor any trouble?
Unless if Josh Taylor has regressed, then maybe.
I said when we did the DR Boxing Weekly show in the week, I said that Josh Taylor has some fundamental shortcomings. One of which being he's not the best defensively. I also said that one of his strengths can also be his weakness, in that he's a very aggressive, tall fighter that's willing to give up his height and engage on the inside. So rather than try and outbox Teofimo Lopez, I reckon at some point he won't be able to help himself. He's a naturally aggressive guy. He's been wound up in the pre-fight stuff that's been going on. He's going to want to try and hurt Teofimo. And if he's not careful, if he's not defensively responsible, he can walk onto one. And I think the one area for me where Teofimo matches, if not edges him, is in one punch power. And I think Teofimo Lopez definitely has the power to hurt him. I'm not saying he has the punch power, put him away straight away, but he does have the punch power to hurt him. So that's going to be very interesting for me to see how that works out.
I think Teofimo has given up some of the athletic advantages that he normally has as well. One of his biggest strengths is his athleticism, and I think he could be maybe a little bit more active than Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor maybe is a better boxer, but Teofimo Lopez is well schooled, very, very fit, very athletic. He's given up that size and strength, but I don't know if he tries to overwhelm Josh Taylor with volume. I don't know, but I think it could be competitive. I see Josh Taylor winning late stoppage, maybe points. I'm edging more and more towards late stoppage.
I said that during the week, by the way.
You did say that, yeah. I said points, but I'm going more towards the late stoppages. It comes closer, seeing the weigh-ins and all the rest of it. But I do think that there'll be moments in the fight where, you know, Tio will catch him. He has the power to keep him honest. We've all got question marks over who's got the solid one-punch knockout power. We've been debating that on our midweek show, and hopefully we see that today. But yeah, Tiafimo hits hard and has got a reasonable volume. That could be a problem.
The chief thing I had about Taylor as well coming into this fight, the question mark I had would be how he would look on the scales. But I have to say, when I watched the weigh-in yesterday, he actually looked good on the scales. If you compared him on the scales yesterday to when he fought Jack Catterall 15 months ago, and let's face it, 15 months is a long time ago.
Very long.
When he fought Jack Catterall, he looked emaciated, he looked gaunt, and that was reflected in his performance. But I've got to say that when I saw him on the scales yesterday, he actually looked very good. He looked like he made the weight better than Teofimo.
That's why I'm saying that for me, the only way Josh Taylor loses this fight is if he's regressed overnight. Like I don't know, unless he's regressed overnight and just become a very, very average 6 out of 10 fighter. I can't see how he loses this fight, because I, based on form, have seen a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 Teofimo Lopez for his last 3 fights. So I don't expect anything better from him anytime soon.
Yeah, I think you guys are fair enough in your prediction that Josh Taylor is the favorite, but I do think you are being quite disrespectful to Tiafimo Lopez, and I'll get into my personal reasons as to why in a little bit. But first of all, I do want to say we are closing in on the main event. They are just playing some promo videos. The ring walks are about to happen any time now. Let's get some predictions going in the chat. What do you guys think? We've got 50 of you drillers here, right now. Let me know where you're watching from. Are you from England? Are you staying up late? Are you up early in Australia? Where are you watching along with us? I'd love to have you here. What channel is this on? It is on Sky Sports right here. Big up people. Community service is in full effect. This is the main event to be on. The main event is just about to start. So like I said, get your predictions in the chat right here, right now. We want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I want to hear what you got to say, because
I have got to say. Well, it's not my prediction. I'll tell you.
How could I be disrespectful? I just gave you I actually said that Teofimo Lopez has a window of opportunity in which to do well in this fight. You're saying I'm being disrespectful.
Okay, well, it was more about a lot of the other things, in the fact that none of you are telling the facts, and the facts are that Teofimo Lopez is going to flatline Josh.
How is that a fact?
It is going.
How is that a fact,
baby? It's a fact. I don't do predictions. I do
spoilers.
Damn right it is. I don't do predictions. I do spoilers, and that's the way it is, mate. That is the way it is. Teofimo Lopez is power is different level. Put what down? Put the whiskey down. I haven't opened the proper. All I've got behind me is a bottle of Prime.
Teofimo Lopez's power is different level.
When he touches you go to sleep. I don't want to hear it. Sandor Martin this, Sandor Martin that. Not comfortable at the weight this, not comfortable at the weight that. At the end of the day, this temporary class is permanent. If Josh Taylor tries to trade with a man like Teofimo Lopez, it's going to be curtains for him. Look, I admit, if you're talking about technical ability, stop talking about Sandor Martin. If you're talking about technical ability, yes, Josh Taylor has a lot of advantage in that field. Do I think he's the slicker boxer?
Let him talk.
I do think he's slightly more technical. I do think he's slightly slicker, and I think if you're talking about going the distance, I do put the favor in the side of Josh Taylor. But I don't see him going the distance. I see Teofimo Lopez's power being too much for him. If you're talking one shot knockout power, Teofimo Lopez has it. As you said before, Laurie, Taylor can get clipped. And if he does get clipped by a man like Teofimo Lopez, it is sweet dreams. And I think he is going to sleep.
So this is what I was going to say. When you heard James speak, he's speaking from a place of what he hopes. That's where
It's
he
not a
speaks
hope.
from.
I don't
Wait,
hope.
wait, wait.
I don't
Let me
like
tell
either
you,
man.
let me
I
tell you
don't
why you're
dislike either
speaking
man.
from a
Sorry.
place of hope. Let me tell you why you're speaking from a place of hope. Because there's no evidence that you can show me at 140 pounds that he has that punch power. There's none. You have no evidence. There is none. There's no evidence whatsoever. What evidence do you have? Give me one fight at 140 pounds where you've seen him flatline someone. Give me one. And you
Do I need
expect
to?
him to
Do I need
flatline
to? Do I
the
need to?
best fighter in the division, but he's never flatlined anyone else at 140. Go on, please tell me. Evidence, please.
I don't need to. I don't.
You have to have evidence.
Tonight is your evidence. Tonight is your evidence, mate.
That's why I'm saying you speak from hope. You don't speak from a place of what you
It's
see.
not hope though, because it's not something I hope happens. It's just something I know is going to happen.
Well, what I would
Based
say about hope is right. It's well documented that I can't stand Teofimo Lopez as a person. I actually think he's got something seriously wrong with him. I said on the show that I think he may even be suffering from CTE. So really, I should feel a little bit sorry for him. But I don't like the guy. I've not liked him for a while. But that doesn't mean to say he can't fight.
He's going through a lot of personal issues. To be fair,
Yeah,
to
but
him,
listen, James,
everyone.
stop saying that. James, stop saying that, because we've all in our lives, I've been through many a personal issue. I'm sure you have, Nick has, Shane has. It doesn't mean to say we can go out on the street and be total dickheads to people. This guy is a total dick.
No, you're right. He said quite a few things that.
We need to stop making excuses for him. If he's got that many problems, he needs to go and get help, get therapy, get some treatment or whatever. The guy's an absolute tool bag. But then he's
the only one line, though, isn't it? It's such a fine line between promotion and being a dickhead. Like there is a fine line. For want of a better word with that, there is such a fine line between aggravating people and being a heel, a bad guy, and being able to cut a promo like that and sell a fight and make a good angle with that, and just being a bit of a
anybody that and doubles down on it is not a nice person, bro.
Doubles down on what? Sorry.
Saying that he wants to take somebody's life.
Yeah, look, I think that was. I think that comment personally is in bad taste.
There's certain lines in life that you do not
cross. Yeah.
And he's crossed it more than once. I cannot stand it as a person. That being said, we're not here tonight to judge by his character. We're here to judge by what goes on in the ring. And I've said that he is a talented fighter. I do think that Josh Taylor will win, especially after I saw how good Taylor looked on the scales. Because the one area there's two areas that I thought that Josh Taylor, if he's going to come up short, it would be one, the weight, and two, if he over-engages and gets caught. The first one, the weight, he appears to have done the weight well. I guess the proof is in the pudding. We'll see on fight night. But I do think that Teo is talented and he does have a window of opportunity. But I just think that Taylor, I agree with Shane and Nick, that in the final analysis, it'll be too good, too strong, and just too much of everything for Teo.
Too battle hardened, too experienced.
Speaking of battle hardened experience as well, you've got to look at who's in their corners. That's the other problem. If the fight is close and it's competitive, you've got to be back in Josh Taylor's corner to go and find the solutions more than Tiafimo's dad.
Tiafimo's dad in the Cambosa's fight advice was, yeah, man, you could do it. You could do it, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's his advice. That's this guy's advice. I mean, bro, sometimes I actually think, Tiafimo's dad comes to the ring drunk. I'm being dead honest. Because the advice he gives in the ring, it just doesn't sound like someone who's sane. Like even in the Sandor Martin fight, I'm literally thinking, where is the actual strategy here? You're literally just leading your son like a lamb to the slaughter. Like there is no strategy. Like his dad is even worse than him.
Well, it's funny. Dylan seems to agree with you on this. Him and his dad are the same person. That's why he's acting the way he is acting. Ferrer saying you want someone to die and then saying you want to kill Josh Taylor. He can't handle the fame. Do you agree? Do you agree with someone like that? Do you agree that his dad is potentially a big driving force into the way that he's acting?
Yeah, I think his dad is an absolute arsehole. And when you see his dad, no, I'm not like.
Well, we were towing the line a little bit, and then just.
No, but listen, bro. This is not the BBC or ITV or Sky. The one
we say the real thoughts. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, the one good thing about platforms like this is that we are allowed to express our real opinions.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing amenable about him or his dad. There's just nothing. I can't point to nothing about, other than him being a good fighter, there's nothing good I can say about Teofimo Lopez. Absolute tool bag, him and his dad. However, like I said, we're not here to judge them strictly as people when it comes to boxing, because we know in boxing, man, there's lots of arseholes who have done very well. I mean, the current heavyweight champion of the world is a similar type of scenario for me.
Well, I don't know if you can.
Okay, well, you won't go there, but you know what I'm saying.
Fury's a great entertainer, but he has said a lot of things that have not lived up to his word recently. That's for sure. Speaking of which,
I've got to say this as well. Even Josh Taylor's character has been questioned on numerous times.
I mean, well, you have to. Anyone that becomes a professional boxer really is not really that sane in the head. Let's be real here. Anyone that decides to have a professional living of being punched in the face for a living has a few demons, shall we say, that they fought off to get into that position in the first place. I think that's a pretty safe judgment, which is why you see a lot of wild characters in the sport, which is what makes the sport so entertaining, is that you do see a lot of entertaining people and a lot of mixed characters from different upbringings and stuff, which is part of the reason as to why we love the sport. We have got the tail of the tape here, by the way. We've got Teofimo Lopez, 25 to 32, 5'8" height compared to Josh Taylor's 5'10", 140 pounds to 139.8, and obviously that 1 inch reach advantage for Josh Taylor at 69.5 inches to 68.5 for Teofimo Lopez. Do you think that Josh Taylor needs to utilize his reach advantage in the fight today? Laurie, do you think that he needs to stick and jab around the outside, or do you think that he can potentially trade with someone like Teo?
He's the taller guy. I must admit, I'm slightly surprised that the difference in reach is only 1 inch. I thought it'd be about 2 or 3 inches at least.
Because he is taller by a couple of inches. So
yeah, exactly. But like I said before, Josh Taylor tends to give his height up. He's more than happy to try and get inside where he can land his hooks and uppercuts. He's got a very good inside game for a tall fighter. Throws a very good cut inside. Before he decked Jose Ramirez with it, he hurt Regis Prograis with it. So yeah,
both fighters who are much more comfortable on the inside than Teofimo Lopez, I do have to say. Both fighters are both more comfortable on the inside than Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think Josh Taylor would have given himself an even better chance of winning if he kept Lopez on the end of his jab. But he doesn't tend to fight like that. But he has a new coach, the McNallys from Liverpool. And they said they've been working on new things. So you might see him start off like that, trying to win rounds behind the jab and being a bit more calculated, a bit more defensively responsible. In my opinion, he does need to show Teofimo Lopez some respect. He just can't, despite what you were saying in the build-up, he can't afford to just go out there and just offer it. Yeah, he can't.
But you know what? I think.
Let's face it as well. Josh Taylor does mark up. He cuts, he bruises up. He can't afford to do that early.
What I was gonna say though is, for me, if I'm Josh Taylor specifically, because I know how mentally fragile Teofimo Lopez is, I would be inclined to box early. Force Teofimo to get desperate. You see, if you start getting rounds in the bank and Teofimo Lopez is behind the cards, you're going to start to see Teofimo Lopez make the mistakes. We never really seen Teofimo Lopez come from behind and actually have to fight his way through. So see if he's going to unravel. So I'd actually keep it as soft as possible in terms of your recklessness. Like, try and be as responsible in your approach, and then wait to the back end of the fight where you're going to see Teofimo Lopez overextend and try and get a bit greedy, and then you might be able to pick him off. That would be my game plan.
The other thing we got to mention as well is that Josh Taylor being a southpaw, that might help him in that regard, because obviously Teofimo, it's a different stance that he has to acclimatise to. So that might make a difference. I do think that, listen, Josh Taylor, as I said before, to me, he has most of the advantages in this fight. The one being power. I'm not, despite what Shane says, I still think that Teofimo has the power to at least earn his respect.
No, he does, but not. You're making it sound like he's got some wilder punch power or a new age punch power.
No, but at the weight, it's completely. He doesn't have to have
No,
a
but
wild
what I'm
punch
trying
power.
to tell you,
He's
Shane, is
devastating
that,
power, though.
listen, I am convinced that Teofimo hits harder than Jack Catterall.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So what I'm saying, if Jack Catterall can do it, then it's possible that Teofimo Lopez can do it.
But the way you guys are talking, well, not you, Laurie, but James. The way you're talking when you say he's gonna flatline him, I'm thinking, what evidence do you have to support that? Not you, Laurie, 'cause I know you said that he's got the power to get his respect.
Come back and ask me that question in about 36 minutes.
I'm asking you now, blood.
I'm asking you now,
come back and ask me that question in 36
all
minutes.
I'm saying
and
is,
I will have video proof evidence of that.
and all I'm saying is, anyone who's watching this, when you listen to James will pick whoever looks aesthetically better. That's who
not
always
true.
picks.
That's something to do with aesthetically better. Tiafimo Lopez doesn't even look aesthetically better.
What I would say, where I do have some empathy with where Shane is coming from. If you look at Josh Taylor's record, man, he's been in with some big punchers. O'Hara Davis was a big puncher. Regis Prograis is probably the biggest puncher in the division. And those guys couldn't put a dent in him.
Not a dent.
I do understand where Shane is coming from.
Yeah, but you're being very disrespectful to Teofimo Lopez's power. But you said yourself, Laurie, you think that Josh Taylor needs to give him some respect as to not, lure himself into the trap of Teofimo Lopez. But the question to you, Nick, who, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what the voice of reason has to say on this matter. Does he need to give Teofimo Lopez respect, or does Teofimo Lopez need to earn Josh Taylor's respect within those first couple of rounds of this fight?
Yeah, I mean, Josh has a more tried and tested game plan that's worked for him over the course of his career. Like I said, that Catterall loss, the Catterall win that most of us think was actually a loss, it seems a one-off. It seems like an anomaly. It doesn't seem like it's character. It doesn't seem like it's regular. It's a pattern. Whereas these subpar performances and not scraping through victories, but these subpar performances from Teofimo are consistent. These outrageous statements and things he does outside the ring, again, it's not a one-off, it's consistent. And so we are consistently seeing somebody that I don't think deserves any respect. Josh should just go in and have complete confidence. Of course, there's going to be a plan B, but he should have real confidence in himself.
But respect for his punch power.
No, because he's, like I said, Josh has beat people that hit at least, we can dispute power, at least as hard. And he's come out with the victory. So there's no reason to change it now. It doesn't make sense. If you've got somebody that hits 100 out of 100 for power, then you go fight someone that hits 90 out of 100 for power. Why would you change it and respect that guy's power? It doesn't make any sense.
Facts. And I also feel like what you also have to consider is the fact that he may be thinking, okay, maybe this guy does hit hard, but I hit harder than all of the guys that's dropped him. So if I hit him with a money shot, he's going to go down even harder. Because he hits harder than Sandor Martin. That's a fact. And he definitely hits harder than Kambosos. And both of those dudes dropped Teofimo Lopez. So if I'm Taylor, I'm thinking, this guy has to earn my respect. I'm going out there, and when I touch him, I expect him to go over. Because when Kambosos touched him, he went over. It's like David Price had power, but dudes knew when they touched that chin, it was over. They didn't respect his power. And I'm not saying he's got a chin like David Price, but it's almost a case of, I'm going to make you respect my power before I respect yours.
Like Lawrence Okoli. The thing is as well, when you're looking at Josh Taylor and, he's much slicker, much slicker as a boxer, This respect thing, I don't get it. I really don't. The damage that was done to Teofimo's stock when he lost to George Kambosos, he hasn't actually regained very much of that stock that he's lost.
He's probably taken steps back.
Yeah, he might have even though he's been winning, his stock may have continued to drop, even though he's been winning, because the performance has been that bad.
So
there's nothing there. What did you say?
He's only had 2
But he
fights.
could have lost one of those. He could have genuinely lost the Sandor Martin fight.
He's only had 2 fights, and he has gone through a lot of extenuating circumstances.
Bro,
so I like to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think
the rest of the time that we talk about Teofimo Lopez, for as long
you need to stop that. No one cares about his extenuating circumstances.
Certain people aren't as good as dealing with these things as others.
Listen. For as long as we cover boxing on DR Sports on this channel, I don't want to hear about Teofimo Lopez's personal problems, because everybody has personal problems. Like, why are we gassing this guy's personal? And the personal problems he has are not even not saying that it's not that deep. It's that deep, isn't it?
It's pretty bad.
But there's men that come to fights when their family members just died, or there's people going through custody battles for their kids, or everyone's got stuff going on. Some people are going to go to the media and scream about it. I'm not saying that's Teo. Some people, the media is going to gas it. Some people are just going to ignore it. Everyone's different, but that's part of what it is. To be elite at anything, athlete, business, career, actor, whatever, you have to tune everything out and perform.
I'm just giving the man the benefit of the doubt, and you do have to also take into account. You also have to take into account the guy is only 25 years of age. That is still a very young guy. He's a very young guy.
What I'm saying to you is 25 is not very young.
He is allowed to have a couple of fights where he regains his confidence.
What I'm asking you is how do you select who you give this grace to and who you don't? Because there's other people that have mad issues that you wouldn't give that grace to.
Okay, I'll give the grace to on the fact that he has been at the elite level. Obviously, the Kambosos fight, as he said, has completely knocked him. Has completely sent him into a world spin.
He was at an elite level with one fight.
But still,
in one fight. Only one fight.
At that age, to have an elite level of that fight only takes one fight
No.
to And to go from there, yes, the Kambosos fight has been bad for him, but he's still very young.
Please, can we stop talking about personal? It means nothing.
I didn't say I'm not bringing up personal problems. I said he's a young guy and he's allowed a couple of fights to rebuild.
You are doing my head in with this. He's got personal problems.
I said that half an hour ago.
Laurie, James picks a fight. James picks a fight that he likes and then defends them. He picked Ryan Garcia, and then no matter what, he just defends him.
But you know what it is? You know what it is, though? Like, when the bell goes, none of that matters a jot. Let's just concentrate on what
doesn't, but that's a different. I'm saying, look, the guy is 25 years of age. Cut him some slack. He's 25 years old. He is allowed a couple of years to work on confidence.
They're about to get to the ring. The fight's about to start. Can we stop?
They are facing off. Well, I'm not talking about personal problems. You're the only one bringing personal problems into this.
I said
the guy deserves a couple of confidence fights, and I think this could be, as you said, a big crossroads fights for him. But the men are facing off in the ring now. Can we get some final predictions to this fight from all of you lot?
Leading into the predictions, could this be a situation where those opponents that he had after the Kambosos loss didn't draw the best performance out of him, like a Tyson Fury who draws his best performance when he's in with a better boxer and he can't motivate himself for an Otto Wallin, just trying to be, just trying to look at all
Perhaps could be.
What I was gonna say,
we're about to get underway.
Perhaps could be, but what are your final predictions before we get into this? Because the fight has just started.
Late stoppage, Josh Taylor. Late stoppage.
10th round stoppage, Josh Taylor. 10th round stoppage, Josh Taylor.
10th round
Taylor.
Points Taylor. 10th round stoppage, and you what? 9th round stoppage, Nick.
11. Round 11.
Round 11, and I'm telling you, round 8, Teofimo Lopez.
Oh yeah, right.
Round 8, Tiafimo Lopez flatline. Let me know what you guys think in the chat over there, mate. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys are thinking, and where you guys are watching from. Of course, you in Dubai, Arsenal top wearing sunglasses indoors. I think he's talking about you, Nick, there. It's because my boy Nick has allergy issues. He's not sat there like Al Capone in the shades for no reason. Round 7, TKO Lopez, Jack Napier, my brother. Love the angst to LMS Live. Shout out to you. Shout out BX Gunner. Shout out Kevy Kev. Shout out all the boys in here.
Theo's actually made a half decent start here, actually.
He has. He's made a very decent start, I'd go as far as to say.
He's countered Taylor a few times with a right hand.
Dad was saying before the fight that he's gonna try and box and not be aggressive. That's what his dad was saying to Bill Haney, anyway.
He's got nice tattoos.
We expect Teofimo to be quicker, though, right? That's one place that we're going to say, okay, that's
a good exchange. Taylor landed a good left hand there. That's
explosive. explosive. He's gonna be more explosive than Taylor. But
Teofimo Lopez smiling, no?
Is
He's
he also
smiling.
Gonna,
he's looking a little bit confident.
To maybe throw more combinations than Taylor. Taylor to throw 1-2s.
Tiafimo, and Laurie will agree with this. Tiafimo used to rely so much on size at 135. He's so much smaller than Taylor.
There's that uppercut inside by Taylor. This is a good first round.
Very. But you can see Taylor's already winning the battle of the footwork. Look at the footwork. Taylor's already winning that. Like Teofimo is not putting his foot in the right place for that jab at all. He's already winning the battle of the footwork already. Taylor's already winning the battle of the footwork.
Good shot by Taylor. This is going to be a competitive fight. You can see this already.
Taylor's winning this fight. I'm convinced. Taylor's winning this fight.
Taylor's winning really good lateral movement to keep moving around Josh Taylor. Keep moving around.
What did you say?
So Teofimo is going to need really good lateral movement.
Definitely.
Move around.
I thought you said he's showing good movement. I'm about to say, bro, what are you seeing? I ain't seen that yet. You don't must be in.
I was going to say, I don't know if he has the ability to do it, though. Is the thing.
I need to see a little bit more output from Teofimo Lopez right now. I think his
he's not setting himself with his feet, so he can't. When you don't set yourself with your feet, you can't set up any attacks. Nice. I don't like when fighters complain to the ref neither. Don't complain.
I think
that's the end of round one. Where'd you guys have that round going?
Yeah, I already know who won that round. I already know who won the fight. I'm telling you, I can see it already.
Well, that's a Taylor round for you?
Yeah, of course.
To me, that first round, the first half of it, I gave to Teo. The second half, I gave to Taylor. I'm going to give it to Taylor because he had that brief little flurry. Yeah, I think I'll edge that one to Taylor. But if you gave it...
more marked up around the nose.
Yeah, he marks up easy around the nose. He's got quite a prominent nose, actually.
Yeah. And do you guys see the constant body attack from Taylor? Do you think that's a game plan to slow him down and physically wear him down?
Could be a good.
He's always been a decent body puncher.
Yeah, I was looking at the stats before. Said that he throws he lands a lot of his body shots. It's not just in this fight. He's always been that way. So
Teo's in trouble. I think I'm gonna be on Nick's side with this. If he doesn't find a way to deal with that footwork, he's gonna be in trouble all night. Because he's not used to fighting in reverse. I've watched Tiafimo probably maybe 80% of his fights. He's not used to fighting in reverse. Taylor's already got him in reverse with the footwork, just calculated pressure already.
Well, I don't know. He had the center of the ring for quite. I mean, he's got the center of the ring now. So I'm not sure if I agree with that.
I guess I'm slightly behind in time, so that's another thing.
I think also one of the things because Teofimo has always relied on that explosiveness, his footwork isn't the best. His footwork's it's not bad, but he's not tidy.
I wish I could hear what Teofimo's dad is saying in the corner.
He got with a good right hand there.
He's saying
that's what I was saying about Josh Taylor. He does get caught. Mm-hmm. He's way tough enough, but he does get caught.
I want to see the 140 punch power from Teofimo Lopez, not knocking out guys from 130.
He's waiting, mate. He's growing into it. He's growing into it, brother. Don't you worry. That 140 punch power is coming. 140 horsepower to the head.
He'll be on the canvas.
Lopez does need more output in the fight. You're right, Andrew.
He just fights in spurts. Teofimo's always been a spurts fighter, looking for the big single, then going back.
What he's trying to do, he's trying to time Taylor as Taylor comes in, and he's had some success doing it as well.
Teofimo Lopez's foot placement is horrible. Are you guys not seeing the foot placement, or is it just me?
I think it's just
I think you're the one that's had a couple too many beers, mate.
Look at the actual.
I'll tell you what, he's having a decent round.
I guess I'm behind in it, but from what I'm seeing, I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're watching, mate. Someone in the crowd, maybe.
Maybe I'm behind in it, so I'm just gonna.
Nah, you're on time. You're just a bit drunk. You're not watching this. If you're not seeing this Tiafimo masterclass, then
you're on crack. I haven't even seen Taylor really let his hands go in this round. That's the only thing.
See, Teofimo Lopez is landing a couple of body shots, but there's not a lot of power behind it. Taylor does look
You said
quite
he was like the
comfortable in
hardest
there.
puncher in the division.
Yeah, but he's growing into it. Right now, there's not a lot of power behind it. I must concede.
I told you guys that already,
Not
but
a lot about
obviously I don't
conceding.
know nothing.
We both landed there.
That was really good fighting off the ropes. Really good fighting off the ropes from both of them, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Teofimo,
nice right hand by.
I get what Laurie's saying though about Taylor. Taylor does
Me,
this thing where
I'm gonna say it straight off the bat. For me, I thought Teofimo won the round.
what I don't understand about Taylor is when he's going from transition from offense to defense, he just leaves his hands by his hips. He don't bring his hands back to his head, so he gets easily clipped on the way out.
Gets clipped more than a Twitch streamer, mate. To be honest, I don't know. I probably might just edge that second round to Tiafimo, but even then, it's very close because I do think Taylor does look very comfortable in there. It is the end of the second round, about to go into the third. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. How do you guys have this going?
I had that round to Tiafimo, not by much, but I thought he landed a couple of decent right hands in there.
Even if you gave that round to Tio, I think he's losing the war because he's not fighting at the pace he wants to fight at. This is not a pace that Tio normally fights at.
No, well, he seems a bit. I don't know if you guys seen it. He seems a bit reluctant to let that power shot go, Teofimo. I don't know. It's like he's holding back a little bit.
When you land power punches, your feet have to be set. You have to land. Your feet have to be set to land power punches. Taylor's constantly making him reset. He's constantly spinning him, going left or right.
Is that knockdown there by Taylor?
No, it's not.
Down on the ropes.
But I'm seeing Teofimo complain to the referee.
Yeah, he is. He's referee.
He did hit him. He hit him when he was on like the second rope.
Yeah, he pushed him into the second rope and then hit him with an uppercut.
Oh, Taylor went to shake hands and then jabbed him.
I love that.
Clip there.
Taylor's gonna rough him up.
That's the Floyd Mayweather game plan, like that.
Ortiz fight. But I like that. Yeah. You got to rough him up, man. He's so used to being the big.
Oh,
yeah, but Teofimo Lopez uppercut. No knockdown. Looked
like a punch went in there for me.
Nah, that was never. Tio doesn't get knocked down from a light shot like that.
Bro, I'm telling you, bruv, I don't care what none of you guys are saying, bruv. I read this from before. This guy is not winning this fight. He's not winning this fight. He's not mentally, he's not strong enough for this. I'm telling you, he's not strong enough for this fight.
Oh, good shot by Taylor there. Good right hand.
Taylor's really.
This is a good round for Taylor so far.
Yeah, he's dominating this round, I say.
Bro, I'm telling you, when you're watching these guys fight, James, don't pick with hope and faith and who you like and who looks better. Don't pick on those.
I'm not talking about who looks better, because arguably you could say Josh Taylor has the better physique, although probably not. But
that's a good shot by Tio there. Good right.
No, I'm basing it off what I know is going to happen come the 8th round.
Go to the body. It's a competitive fight, and it looks like Josh Taylor's right eye's a bit marked up there.
But I'd say Josh Taylor's just edging this fight so far for me.
Just edging?
Yeah. Well, I have it one round to one round, and I have Josh Taylor comfortably winning this third round. Although Teofimo Lopez roughed him up there.
I think after 3 rounds, Josh Taylor will be the more confident, more comfortable. The difference is, I'm looking at this fight after 3 rounds. Josh Taylor's up 2-1, and you feel like there's a level or two that he can go up. Tio, I don't know where he goes. Does he have a couple gears he can kick into? I'm not sure.
Sinking in a couple of shots there. He's punching with bad intentions, Taylor.
It's not about where Tio goes. It's about where Josh Taylor goes.
Good uppercut by Tio there. I'm missing this. Good uppercut by Tio.
Beautiful shot. Clinching up now.
Sharp, Tio, when he does let his hands go, he looks sharp.
But are you seeing what I'm seeing? He seems almost reluctant to let his hands go.
I'm not sure if I agree with that. I think he has let his hands go.
Yeah, but not enough for me. He's starting to.
More often than not, it's a one shot he tries to land.
He's not letting enough combinations go, I don't think.
because he's
Well, that
constantly being
I
respect.
thought that was Josh Taylor's round.
Josh Taylor round. That is the end of round 3. Who do you guys have walking away with that one? You've given it to Taylor.
Every
Taylor,
day of the
Shane.
weekend, twice on a
A
Sunday.
lot of these rounds, I have to say, no one's dominating the rounds here.
He dominated that round. Taylor dominated that last round.
No,
He
no, no.
dominated that.
I thought Tio
Not
did
completely, though.
shots. He won the
No.
round. He didn't dominate it for me.
For me, T could have got dropped in the first minute because I thought the uppercut landed.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I don't know. The referee, I think, because Tio said he slipped or whatever, or he got pushed, the referee didn't count it.
No, they're showing the replay here of him
No, that's not it.
squatting
That's-
down on the rope. No, that's the ropes. I know that's a different one. And here, I think this is going to be... No, this is where he fakes the hand and then hits him with the KSI elbow there as he comes in. They haven't shown the knockdown, though.
Here we go again. This is a good fight so far.
I have it 2-1 to Taylor right now.
Likewise. But
So
it's
we
not-
all unanimously giving the second round to Tiafimo.
yeah.
That's what we call.
Shane looked disgusted.
We're calling that I don't even know the word to call it. We just gifted him that round. You know, he didn't earn it. It is a good. We gave him the round.
Well,
you
then
know.
give the round to Taylor. You know, slap your cojones.
No,
on the table.
I'm gonna be generous in it. Give him the round. I'm gonna be generous because I don't
Oh,
think he's
good
gonna.
shot by Taylor there. Good shot by
Taylor's
Taylor.
gonna stop him, so I don't really need to worry about that.
And like you guys said before, James and Laurie, who felt that maybe Tio is the bigger power puncher and maybe Taylor has more accumulative power. These shots that he's landing now are just going to start to
Oh, he's been dropped.
No, he's not.
Oh,
Watch the fight, bro.
referee.
Oh,
Right as you said that, Nick. What
That was
timing
good.
that would have been. That
Watch
was a
the
beautiful.
fight, bro.
That is
Watch.
ridiculous. How was he not given that as a
That
knockdown?
was a push.
That was
Please.
a beautiful shot.
No.
Nice hook there. Nice left hook.
shameless. Look what man are doing.
Oh, that was unreal, mate. This ref's seeing the stars, mate.
But like I said, man, this is another close round. There's not too much.
Yeah,
In the
sorry. What
world.
were you saying about the accumulative power, Nick?
Just the punches that Josh Taylor's landing, you know, you just wonder how much durability Lopez has to keep soaking this up.
Yeah, well, you say that, but Teofimo Lopez is really on the front foot in this round. This is a easy Tio round for me. He's looking slick. He's looking sharp. He's starting to unload. He's starting to release those shots. He's very comfortable.
He's not establishing that jab, you see. This is it, you see. You're long.
Taylor.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But Teofimo Lopez isn't allowing him to do that with the constant level changing, the switching of pace. He's really fighting his fight this round. This is more of the Teofimo Lopez I expected.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Good jab by Taylor. That's what he's got to do. Use that jab a bit more.
Do you reckon Taylor, as Laurie was saying before, got a bit greedy after a good round 3? He tried to get
Got
a
caught
bit
again there.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting caught a bit too much for me with those right hands. You know, seriously. I think.
He is. That's good footwork by Tio as well to evade that.
He should be getting knocked up.
And I did say to you guys before the fight that Taylor's defense is not great.
No, it's not.
And he's getting bullied now.
Oh,
Oh, beautiful body shot. Beautiful. He's got him on the ropes. It might be a round 4 stoppage. Oh.
that is a definite
end of the
Tiafimo round.
Woo, mate, that is a clear Tio round, mate. Tio had him wobbling there. What did I tell you, Shane, mate? Oh, his power isn't good enough. Oh, he couldn't do anything to Sandor Martin. He's not going to be able to trouble Taylor, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a fight. I'm telling you now. Josh Taylor was hurt.
More than a fight.
Josh Taylor was hurt at the end of that round. No
He
doubt
was.
about it.
This is the big fight live on DR Sports.
This is what I was saying, Shane, about Josh Taylor. He's easy to hit, bro. Trust me.
I never disagreed with that point.
No, but you said that he doesn't have a chance of anything. You said he's not on the same level as Josh Taylor.
I genuinely believe that.
Okay,
Because
but how do you score this fight so far?
He doesn't move his head. He does not move his head. That was not a very good round for him. He got hurt.
I have it 2-2. How do you guys have it?
I got it 2.
I'd have to give it 2 apiece as well.
2-2, yeah.
Mate, if that round was going on for another 15, 20 seconds there, I think Taylor could have been going to sleep there.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
He had him in
This
trouble.
is better from Taylor. This is what he's got to do. But he gets, as Shane says, he gets greedy and he wants to hurt the guy. Oh, it's a good shot by Taylor. Good shot.
Oh, he's got him. Oh, he's got his back.
No, but you're not supposed to turn your back, man.
No, you're not supposed to turn your back. What happened there?
Shot by Taylor. And again.
Oh, but Teo comes back with a beautiful uppercut left hook. Oh, nice switch there.
This is a very good fight, I must admit.
It is. It's really hotting up. I don't know how he gave his back up there. That was really weird. I looked at the chat for a second and he's turned around. Oh, beautiful. Right, here we go. Teo growing into this now.
Oh, good uppercut.
Oh, great uppercut. Here we go. This is it.
Yeah, I felt Teo's done better than I thought he would in terms of coming back from adversity when he's hurt, how he's recovering. He's showing a little bit more than I expected him to be fair.
No,
I told you he's a young guy, man. Cut him some slack.
What are you doing, Tony? I have no idea.
Slack. Here we go. Nice overhand right.
Taylor switched to Orford. Oh, good shot by Taylor there inside.
I never like when Taylor switches orthodox, you know, because I've seen him do it a few times.
That one did work because he caught him with a good shot. Oh, Taylor, heads went in there. See, Taylor's desperate to get inside.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can see that, but I feel like he genuinely believes that Taylor Tiafimo Lopez on the inside might be the safest place for him, because most of the shots he's getting caught with is at mid range. When he's trying to leave exchanges, he gets caught on the way out with shots.
Oh, good shot by Teo there.
Beautiful.
Taylor walked right into that.
Every time Taylor tries to come in, he's getting clipped, man.
Taylor.
This is what Jack Cattrall did.
He can't find his rhythm. Taylor can't find his rhythm. Tiafimo,
I mean, he's landed some good shots in this round. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, the first 30 seconds, but
no, bro. He didn't. I'm actually looking at it right now. He's landing good shots right now. I know I'm behind you, but he's landing good shots right now.
Look, man, Teo looks comfortable. He's in his flow state.
I don't know about that. Teo's getting caught with punches as well.
He did.
I will say though,
this round Taylor, to be honest.
I will say though, Tiafimo's footwork has improved in the last round and a half.
You know what? I think I'm going to give that as a level round, man.
I don't give
level
even
round.
We
don't give even rounds here, Laurie. I remember you said to me on the first ever stream I did with you lot, we don't give even rounds here. You have to give it one way or another. So who are you giving that round to?
I give this round to Taylor.
Who are you giving it to?
I gave it as a level round, but I must admit, if I had to give it to anybody, I'd probably go to Teo. I'm going to put
3-2 Teo. 3-2 Teo. We got 2 3-2 Teos here and 2 3-2 Taylor.
I'll tell you why. I just think that the cleaner shots that are pushing the head back are coming from Teo.
I don't think so. I actually don't think so.
No, I think they are, man. The cleaner shots that are pushing, that look a little bit more impressive, are coming from Taylor. Sorry, are coming from Teo.
I'm saying
I don't know.
Taylor had Teo's back, and he still didn't manage to really cause that much trouble. So you're never gonna have a man. You're never gonna have a man in more trouble than when he's turned his back to you.
The ref stopped
you can't hit someone behind their head. So what are you going to do?
Mate, you gotta do anything.
Well, you're getting mixed up between MMA again.
That's what I'm
ain't nothing to do with MMA. Right, yeah. Let's bring that into it, mate. If it was MMA, he would have choked him out. It's a different story. I'm saying Teo was there for the taking, and he couldn't do anything.
Well, back to this round, Taylor's landed a couple of good shots already.
Yeah, but look at the movement. You were talking about the footwork of Teofimo Lopez, vastly improved.
I did say it has improved in the last 2 rounds.
You did say that.
But the reason why I think that is I do think it's been an assist from Taylor as well. Like Taylor also hasn't tried to win the battle of the football.
What I would say is that Taylor is it's becoming clear as the fight goes on that he's taking the center of the ring more. But I do
Tio's
think
letting him. I feel, but
no, he's not letting him. He's not letting Taylor.
maybe not.
On ESPN got Lopez winning 3-2.
Yeah, I think I have as well. I think I have. Because you forced me to go for somebody in that last round, even though I wanted to give it a draw. So I actually went for Tio.
It's hard to call though. It's a very, very, very tight fight.
I've got it 48 Lopez, 47 Taylor, and I must say Tio does look sharp.
It does.
Especially on counter punching, 100%.
Yeah.
And his
I don't know where the
lateral
punch
movement
power is that you lot are talking about, though. Like this flatlining punch power.
No, but you have to say that. Oh, look, this is good from Tio.
Oh, great movement from Taylor, though.
I think Taylor's also kept his hands in his pockets for a while and almost been neutralized by Teofimo Lopez. I'm not quite sure why.
Because he's scared of the power, that's why.
No, I don't really think so.
Mate, he's wary of it. Tio, like you said, like we were saying in that third round where he had him up against the ropes, he earned the respect of Josh Taylor.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel
he definitely earned the respect there. He definitely earned the respect there.
And I think that's why you're seeing he's maybe...
There's a low blow that went in there.
You say slightly more tentative.
Even this round, there's not been anything conclusive.
This is a tough round to call. I'm not going to lie to you.
This round I'd give to Lopez for sure. Lopez starting to push the action a little bit more.
I just think he looks sharper.
Yeah, landing more.
He definitely looks like he's trying to, set the initiative, but
I think I'm going to have to agree with Nick. To me, Lopez done the better work. There's not been a lot of work. Now he's
what's Lopez looking at the corner there for?
No, he's showboating.
Was that showboating, or was he like looking for advice?
No, he's showboating, bro. I don't think you're watching this fight.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That's a Lopez round.
He looked to the side. He looked to the corner.
Lopez probably got the better of this round.
Because that's not good showboating. He's just fucking looked to the side of the ring.
Lopez
we're talking about a very
Lopez has done better in this round, definitely, in my opinion.
I've given the last 2 rounds to Lopez, so that's worrying for Taylor because he's 2 rounds down on my card. We're entering into round 6. And you saw in that last round there where Tiafimo was actually
backing Josh Taylor up,
saying that he feels he's winning.
Yeah, well, I also have it 4 rounds to 2, but the thing is, this is now the end of the first half of the fight with it either being tied on a lot of people's scorecards or Tio just edging this. Who do you think this tight level of fight favors going into the latter stages of the fight, with it being this close?
Lopez is
do you think has
dancing
the
around
stamina to go into the later rounds?
Lopez is dancing around in his corner. He's up before the bell even sounded in this round.
In the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th round, if it stays this tight, who do you give the advantage to?
All I would say, Taylor needs a good round because
you give the advantage to Lopez.
Yeah, because just by the momentum of the way the fight's going.
But you think he will carry his power better than Taylor?
I don't think it's got to do with power. I don't think it's anything to do with power. I'm not quite sure. He's definitely found a way to neutralize Josh Taylor, but I more think it's about Taylor's lack of footwork. Taylor's not fighting at the right ranges recently, like in the last few rounds. He's almost trying to exchange with him on counters. And obviously when someone's got more explosive speed than you, I don't think that's a good game plan. But that's what he's basically been doing.
Yeah, you can see that he's quicker at getting in and getting out.
Literally. I'm surprised Taylor's made it that type of a fight.
I did say to you guys before, Taylor is not the hardest person to hit. And we're seeing that here. He needs a good round, man. He's lost the last 2, and Tio's starting to show a bit of confidence.
Definitely.
See, he missed it badly, Taylor.
Primetime Teofimo Lopez, mate.
I think he's loading up a bit too much as well. He needs to get his boxing together. He got caught again. Yeah, the legs did a little wobble there.
This, mate, Tio's walking him down. Unfazed. Little jab by Taylor. doesn't even hurt him, mate. Brushes it off like it's nothing.
Yeah, halfway through the fight, I'm not seeing the signs. The signs is not there from Taylor at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Beautiful
By
movement
Taylor.
by Teo, mate. Beautiful.
No. That's good work by Taylor there.
Yeah, man. Beautiful head movement by Teo.
I genuinely think Teofimo Lopez he's allowing Teofimo Lopez athleticism to actually take his toll in the fight, which I'm surprised he's actually doing. You know, every
was cut by the right eye. I believe.
Teo does have a big bruise on the right eye.
Every artist needs a canvas, and Taylor's giving him a great canvas to paint on right now.
Better round for Taylor. This is a better round.
But I also feel like Taylor's also given up a lot of ground in this round as well, unnecessarily. I'm not quite sure why. Taylor's just Tiafimo Lopez has literally changed his fighting style in this round. I'm not quite sure why. He's fighting at mid range with wild punches, and he's getting countered, and he's allowing Taylor to get back into the fight. I'm not quite sure why.
He just looks a little bit sharper, doesn't he? I'll give that round to Taylor, but again, a couple of the big shots were landed by Lopez. I think I'm going to be kind and give that round to Taylor, but I'm not so sure, man.
And giving that round to Lopez, I think Taylor came into it for the last minute, but over the 3 minutes, I think Lopez is, doing more damage and looking more dangerous.
I actually feel like that was a tough round to call, because I do think Taylor ended the round strong, but I do see what Nick's saying as well.
Taylor looks a little bit worried in that corner as well, man. His body language isn't great in there. He needs the crowd, the Honduran crowd in the MSG seem to be a bit more animated as well.
A bit more active. I mean, look, you lot are going to call me crazy, but I have that round going to Teo, and I actually have the past 3 rounds going to Teo. So I have it 5-2.
It was a close round.
I think a couple of them have been close, but the ones that have been close, I've edged in favor of Teo.
Are we looking at another controversial decision if it goes
I see Taylor. I actually gave that round to Teofimo Lopez.
So did I.
So did I, and I have it 5-2. So how do you guys have it scored?
So good shot, Taylor.
4-3 Lopez. 4-3 Lopez.
Yeah.
How much do you have, Nick?
4-3 Lopez.
Yeah, me too.
And I have 5-2.
Oh yeah, you just gave that round to Taylor, innit?
Yeah.
Taylor had a moment in that round, says Sports Genius. Tough round to score. Teo winning. 4-3 Taylor, but he's tiring. Taylor took it for me again with aggression / volume.
I don't think Taylor's tiring. I just feel like he's allowing Teofimo Lopez's style to just, his natural athleticism to actually take his toll, which I don't know why. This fighting style that Taylor's come with is just not the right fighting style.
Yeah, just looks sharper than him, man.
I think Taylor is tired, but not physically tired. I think he's mentally tired because
potentially
his game plan doesn't seem to be working. Seems a little
do you know what I don't understand is why Taylor's tried to be a counter puncher. The first 3 rounds, he was leading with the jab. Now he's trying to counter Teofimo Lopez. I'm not quite sure why. You're not going to be quicker than him in terms of just out and out explosive speed.
Yeah.
You got to be first and last in this type of fight.
Teo just looks that little bit split second sharper.
I don't know. So far in this round, I haven't really seen Teofimo Lopez throw any punches. But I don't know. You guys might be ahead of me.
It's disappointing though that Josh Taylor's come out with this type of strategy because
good shot by Taylor there.
Teo's going to be quicker. He's going to be more athletic. You surely build your game plan around that. And how do you nullify that? The way he's boxing is playing right into Teofimo's hands.
Look at that head movement by Teo. That is saucy.
There's been times where I've been thinking, Teofimo's looking like a prime Pernell Whitaker with the head movement. I'm like,
he's looking like a prime Canelo Alvarez, mate. He's looking slick. Slicker than an Italian's hair, mate.
Yeah, I'm.
Are you eating some of your words about Teofimo Lopez right now, Shane?
Not in terms of his
Your
punch
harsh
power.
words.
Not in terms of his punch power, but in terms of
other things.
I just didn't expect Taylor to fight so bad. But
Is he
I
fighting
don't think
bad, or
he's
is
losing this
Teofimo
round.
Lopez forcing him into this kind of fight?
Oh! He leapt off the floor and caught Taylor with a shot.
It was almost a Superman punch there.
No, it's really looking.
Oh,
Oh,
what's he doing now? Mate, mate, he knows he's got this fight. Look at that. The flair, the showboating, the arrogance, everything.
For the first time there, Taylor looked despondent.
He did, and you got Teofimo Lopez doing all these kind of weird flipping Jet Li moves.
His natural athleticism has taken his toll on Josh Taylor in this fight.
Yep, I did say that before as well about the athleticism of Teo. So listen, what I'm seeing here, I'm not wholly surprised.
I am. I'm genuinely surprised by the game plan of Josh Taylor. I can't even lie to you.
Yeah, but is it Taylor or is Teofimo Lopez just a lot better than you gave him credit for?
Now I'm just surprised that Josh Taylor's not leading. I thought Josh Taylor would punch, would be first, try and be first and last, but he's not.
Yeah, but are you not giving enough credit to Teofimo Lopez's head movement and his footwork, which is vastly improved since the first round?
No, definitely. But I also feel like it's also about intention. But Teofimo Lopez is definitely leading this fight.
He's definitely winning. I've got him 2 up, maybe even 3 up.
Who did you guys give that last round to?
Taylor lost that round.
Teo.
You gave it to Teo.
Easy.
Taylor definitely lost that round.
5 rounds to 3, and you, Nick, and Shane also have 5 rounds to 3, right?
Yeah.
And I have 6
It's
rounds.
It's not just the rounds. It's the we talk about losing the battle and losing the war. To me, Taylor's losing the war here. He needs a good round because he's not.
Mentally, this fight is going away from him.
He needs to do something to hurt Teofimo Lopez.
For the first time in the fight, I look on Taylor's face as he went back to the corner. He looked a little bit despondent, as if to say, losing.
Do you know what this fight reminds me of? It reminds me of.
Again.
Do you remember when Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring? That's what this fight reminds me of. Just
not
like
as one-sided. So.
No, but I just mean in terms of where someone's natural athleticism just.
He got caught again there.
Nah, but technical ability, everything. Teofimo Lopez is just on a different level, mate. There's levels to this game, and Teofimo Lopez is that level. Look at that, mate. He's teeing off. He's bragging. He's looking slick. He's looking so confident.
James's prediction about the stoppage is not altogether
not far off, mate. Not far off.
Because he got caught with
different gravy. And he has, yeah, you're right. Taylor has been caught a good couple of times. I mean, fair play. Respect to his
Taylor's coming with. Taylor's definitely. He's definitely caught by surprise by just the overall. I don't even know the word to use. Just he looks almost like a deer in the headlights in this fight.
Unless he knocks Teofimo, I'm going to say this right now. Unless he stops Teofimo, which at the moment doesn't look possible. He
doesn't look like him.
He's and he's not a big puncher, despite what Shane and them lot were saying. He's not that one punch. I said it all along. Josh Taylor is not a one punch hitter. He's an accumulation puncher.
It's just wavelengths, mate. Teofimo Lopez is on a
he got caught back-to-back right hands.
He's on a different wavelength. He's different.
He got wobbled.
You know what? You know what's so crazy for me?
He could be getting stopped. Oh!
There he is. Oh, he's on the ropes. That's it.
He's going to get stopped.
He fell back. If it wasn't for the ropes, he was fucking flying back there.
Shane, I think you're going to have to eat your words, bro.
Bro, he's looking that way. Trust me.
Taylor's eating the shot. Oh, beautiful body shot. Lopez again.
Man, that is the most convincing round of the fight so far.
Woo. You're giving that round to Taylor, yeah?
Teofimo Lopez.
Are you being serious or you just?
No, I'm joking.
All right, because I was going to say, I mean, if you're in a fight and you don't give that round to Taylor, then you must either be to Teo, then you must be related to Taylor or You know what I mean? I don't like Tio, man, but I've got to say he's boxing superbly.
He is looking real.
Andrew.
It could be a case of what Nick said, where you fight to the level that you're at. You see what I'm saying? You know, where he may not have been motivated for those fights that he lost.
All I'm saying is, yeah, Andrew, first of all, ain't the first time, okay? You lot all laugh at me whenever I come out with what I say. Oh, it's because you like his body. You're thinking with your heart, not your head, mate. At the end of the day, I just see these things happening. The amount of smoke I've been holding all week. The
reason why I'm not. I rate Laurie's prediction more than yours is because you were talking like
he said Taylor was gonna win.
No, but let me tell you why. Because Laurie actually spoke about I gave you opportunities to speak about the technical aspects of the game. You're just talking about flatlining and punch power. Like I really didn't.
I said he's a different level. He's different level.
You didn't give us. For me, whenever you give predictions, I don't ever hear you talk about actual technical aspects of boxing. So I never really take your opinion.
I'll tell you this, his footwork's a lot better. His changing of the levels is a lot better. His changing of pace is a lot better.
You can say it now that you see it. You didn't say it before the fight. That's what I'm saying. I don't really take your opinion seriously because you don't really come with technical.
You've been proven wrong. You just need to eat some humble pie, Shane.
It's cool. It's fine.
And Taylor needs to win every round just to get a draw.
He needs to get a knockdown to get a draw.
And in that last round, he looked like the legs definitely did a little shake.
If you're Taylor's team now, we spoke about who comes back from adversity better. If you're Taylor's team at this point, what's the instructions? Are we just going for it and go for it?
Risks. He's going to have to take some risks.
He's got to just throw caution to the wind right now.
Yeah. He's going to have to take some risks. It's as simple as that because he's well down on the cards. I mean, I've got him 3 down, but it could be 4 or 5. So he's going to have to really take some risks and just find a way of getting inside. Oh, that's a good shot. This is a better round for Taylor, but he needs more. Could be that Lopez thinks he's ahead and coasting a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to lie. I'm more impressed with this performance from Teofimo Lopez than I am the Lomachenko one.
Yeah, I would say that as well, actually.
Because he actually is showing me stuff in this fight I've never seen him show. Credit to Teofimo Lopez's his game plan because he got
this
into
is what I was saying to James about personal problems don't mean anything when the bell goes because look at the way he's boxing here. You wouldn't have thought he's got a personal problem in the world.
Again, the personal problem was one thing. The other thing I said was his age, and like I said, with the Martin fight and the Camper fight, he's very, very young. You need to give him some time to build his confidence back up. Just because he takes one bad loss against Kambosos at the age of 23, 24 does not mean that his career is...
This is a better round for Taylor.
He is.
Not good enough of a round, though. Not convincing enough of a round.
I think he's winning the round, though. I think he's winning the round, though.
Yes, he's definitely winning the round.
Because Tiafimo take the round off. He took this round off. He didn't even try and win it.
He pulled a Lomachenko.
Yeah, he definitely did.
No, but you know what? That's a risky strategy because Taylor is the champion. And you know what they say about you got to rip the title away from the champion.
That's absolute codswallop, though.
Yeah, you say that, but that is the natural laws of boxing, bro. So you could say that all you want.
It's so stupid, mate. A fight's a fight, whether you're a champion or
not. James. It's stupid to you, but that's how boxing is.
No, but okay. Do you think that's how it should be?
It's not what I think, bro. It's the rules of boxing. It's
not rules.
It's an unofficial rule of boxing. You saw that with Hayden.
Oh, no, yeah, but that's...
Who did you not give that round to you?
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor.
But it was more of a... Was it a
throwaway round for Tio, innit?
We've seen Taylor do so little for several rounds now that when he does something small, he wins the round.
No, but I also feel like Teofimo Lopez took a rest in that round.
Well, we'll see here. As you said, 11th round has just started. A lot of us have Teofimo Lopez up on the cards quite heavily. How do you guys have this in the chat? 6-4 Teo. 6'4" Tio again. 6'4" Taylor Odi Pele.
What?
Wow, that's
I think he wrote the wrong
crazy.
name. He wrote the wrong name.
They got to be Scottish.
Oh no, 6'4" Tio. I mean, sorry.
I told you, he wrote the wrong name.
Catterall was just as convincing as this, and he didn't get it. So
I would probably
sorry,
Catterall was probably more convincing.
yeah.
Catterall got a knockdown.
Mind you, this is another decent round for Taylor. Mate, I think his engine is helping him out here. He's got good shot by Taylor.
That's what I'm. You know what, Laurie? Yeah, you know when you said you don't want to give up rounds. That's probably what you're saying. You don't like to give up rounds. Like when you're on top, keep the momentum.
Taylor's growing. Taylor's coming on strong.
This is the round I predicted a KO.
Taylor's showing true championship heart here. He's coming forward.
Ooh.
See, he's not landing anything like
clean,
but he's doing more work.
That's what I think. Teofimo Lopez is almost fighting within himself right now. If I'm Taylor, I'm trying to bring the fight to Teo. Bring the fight to him. Literally bring the fight to him.
He's so slick.
Oh,
man.
yes. Yeah.
I love watching this guy box.
Still a minute and a bit left. And I think Teo's come back into it this round. So I've got it level in this round so far because the first part to Taylor. Oh, massive shot. Yo.
But he ate it.
But
he ate it for breakfast.
Those are the type of shots that win close rounds, you know, when you see a man hit.
But he needed to turn over on it. He didn't quite turn over on the punch.
I think win, lose or draw, Josh Taylor is going to have to move up in weight after this.
No, I don't even agree with that. You know,
but I think he will because
147 is a minefield. You got to be careful when you fight.
There's a reason why I say that because he's been undisputed champion at this weight already. If he loses tonight, I can't see him wanting to have a rematch with Teo.
No, but you got to understand that.
To me, this good shot, an uppercut. Taylor's legs did a little dance. He's lost this round.
He is against the ropes, but the power's not quite there for Teo. Like he's landing these.
I told you, bro. I told you about this Redder's power. I told you.
But he's landing the clean shots, but he's not quite turning over on them.
Shane, time out. He's been hurt several times in this fight, bro.
But you lot said flattened. You said not you.
No, I didn't say
flattened. No, not you. Not you. You said flatline.
He does have the ability to, but he's not.
No, but let's be honest, right? Let's all be honest. Who's been the power puncher in this fight? Let's be honest.
Teofimo Lopez.
Well, this is what I was telling you. I said to you that he hits harder than Taylor, and you can say no, he don't.
The reason why I'm saying that is because you can say that when someone is actually landing flush punches. How many flush punches? His biomechanics is better than Taylor, so he's obviously landing bigger punches. Taylor just hasn't landed anything flush that's with a big punch. Doesn't mean he has more power. He just has a better ability to land a big shot. It's like when Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder. It's not that Deontay Wilder has less power. He just doesn't have the biomechanics to land punches.
He did land some big shots against Tyson.
I've said that all along, and you and Nick didn't agree, fair enough. But I always said Teo is a harder puncher of the two. I think I've been proven right in this fight.
I mean, we can say that, but I haven't seen Taylor land anything concussive to even judge it. But he's
early, but he's never hurt Teo.
But has he landed anything? Has he landed anything big in the fight? That's what I'm trying to say.
Teo about to go all out in the last round. We have just got into the 12th round of action. 2 minutes 30 left. Jack Napier certainly believes that he is about to.
Back to your statement.
I love how savage and Teo naturally is. How do you guys have this fight going as we do go into the final 2 minutes of the fight?
Lopez 4 rounds up.
As I was saying to you, Laurie, you know when you're talking about Taylor moving up to 147, he moves up to 147. Who does he fight at 147?
Look at his legs.
He loses to everyone at 147. Taylor loses to Boots, Ortiz.
Yeah, but he's not there yet. What I'm saying is he's 140 days are done. His 140 days are done, bro. Trust me. This performance is.
I wouldn't move to 147 either. That's a minefield. You move to a weight class, you'll get absolutely smoked.
What's he going to do? He's not going to retire from boxing, is it?
You might as well.
Oh, beautiful shot.
I would retire if I was just Taylor.
The scoring's finished for me.
Oh, look. Oh, he's hurt to the body.
It's all about knockout. Taylor has to knock him out. Final minute and 15 seconds left in the fight. Teofimo Lopez pushing Taylor back into the ropes.
This has been a very good performance by Teo.
Taylor got beat
in a masterclass.
in this fight.
It's been a Jose Mourinho masterclass.
I must admit, I can't stand the guy. I can't stand him, but you've got to give him his credit. He's won and he's won fair enough.
I think it's good for boxing, Teofimo Lopez winning this.
He's won by a wide margin as well. I think I've got an 8-4 in the end.
Right, he got battered. Taylor got absolutely. But I didn't just saw him.
It's not over yet, mate. 40 seconds. 40 seconds.
Over.
It's over, bro.
He could land a punch from the heavens, as Anthony Joshua once famously said.
Body shot again. Oh, he's hurt.
Oh, there he is. This is it. He's going to finish him right here, right now. 26 seconds left in the fight.
It's only, you got to give Taylor credit. His toughness is unbelievable. Oh, he's hurt.
He's tough as old boots, this guy. Old leather boots, but he can only hold on for so long. He's got him in the headlock there.
Absolutely beaten up in there, bro. It's a bad night. This is a bad night.
This is a clinic, mate. Oh, there you go.
That's it. It's all over.
Teo, mate. Oh, is that a knockdown? Oh, no. What's happening? Oh, is that the end of the fight? That's the end of the fight. End of the fight.
Taylor, he went over to shake Teo's hand there. You know that he knows he lost. Mate, Teo's jumping onto the ring apron.
If this scorecard is anywhere near close, that is one of the biggest robberies.
Nah, it won't be. It won't be.
Teo's going to win. He's the home fighter. He's won fair and square.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Josh Taylor, his corner of hoisting him.
They're taking the piss.
Nah, bro. I think this will be a bigger robbery than the Catterall fight. This will be a bigger robbery than the Catterall fight.
Mate, this will be a bigger robbery than Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield.
Well, I've got to say, I don't like the guy. I can't stand him, but you can't argue. He was by far the better man tonight.
I think this is a good result for boxing, personally. I think he's a bigger name. I think he's a bigger draw, and I think he creates more spectacle around this fight. As you said, a lot of people don't like him, so a lot of people want him to lose. So I think that this is a very good thing.
I actually agree with that. I actually genuinely agree with that. I genuinely agree that Teofimo Lopez is a bigger name, and he just makes the more marketable fights. And he needed a big performance. Josh Taylor got absolutely schooled today, and Laurie telling this guy to go to 147 is committing suicide. This guy.
The point I'm trying to make is his days at 140 are done. So if
his days at 140 are done, then you're just telling him to commit suicide by going to 147, because 147 is harder than 140.
Now, what I'm saying to you is he's going to blame the weight on his performance. I'm telling you now.
What I'm asking you, if you are watching that fight, what would you advise him to do? You would advise him to move to 147.
Yeah.
Because if you and who would you put him in there with, Laurie?
I don't know.
That's my point, bro. There's not one top fight. Every top fighter, whether it's Errol Spence, Crawford, Boots, Ortiz, they all stop him. They all stop Josh Taylor. That's two.
Where he goes after is certainly one question. The question after this is after what seems to be a amazing victory for Teofimo Lopez and an amazing performance. Where does he go now? Where does Teofimo Lopez go?
Regis Progress
back.
Regis Progress.
He won't fight. He won't fight Regis Progress. He won't fight Regis Progress.
CJF thinks Taylor could fight Devin at 140.
Devin's not moving to 140, so.
I don't know, mate. It's an interesting thought, though. I think
140. I'm hearing Devin's going to fight Regis Progress. So why would he fight Taylor who doesn't have a belt? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, not Taylor.
I know,
Not Taylor.
and I know.
Wait.
I know. Oh, yeah, that happened.
Oh no, he said. Wait, did he say? Oh, he said Taylor. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna fight Taylor at 145.
No, yeah.
The truth
Teofimo though.
He could fight Teofimo Lopez.
I think that would be a good fight. That would be a very, very interesting fight. But I think for me, Devin Haney's next fight has to be Lomachenko. I think until he sorted that Lomachenko thing out, he shouldn't fight anyone else. Personally,
if I was Teofimo Lopez, I'd go after Rolly Romero. He's got a belt, and it's a unification.
But after what happened last time, he's just gonna get robbed in that fight. So it doesn't.
No, he wouldn't.
He himself.
He will knock Rolly out clean.
He'll get robbed though. Rolly Romero will land one jab, and the referee will jump in and say, "Doctor stoppage, mate."
So are we on the train that like, okay, Teofimo's back, or are we looking at this as a one-off, or what?
No, he's back. Yeah, he's back.
He's back, baby. Mate, I can't believe the absolute 180 I'm seeing from you, Shane.
The reason why
he's done at this level.
No, but let me tell you why. I only go on ring evidence. You're only as good as your last fight. To me, you're only as good as your last fight. He had a bad performance against Sandor Martin. I was judging him on that. I saw him have a great performance today, so I judge him what's in front of me. I will constantly flip-flop because I always go on new evidence. I never go on emotion. I never make
it's not emotion, but you have to take
today he got beaten worse than he did with the Jack Catterall fight because although he dropped tonight, he got hurt several times. In fact, you've got to give Taylor credit that he never went down. He stood up.
Yeah.
But he was comprehensively beaten.
Can I ask you a question? Is it Laurie, can I ask you a question? Is it down to regression from Josh Taylor, or is Teofimo Lopez that good? Because I want to ask you, is this the same Josh Taylor that we saw beat Regis Prograis and Ramirez? That's a question I'm asking you, Laurie.
That's a good question. I would have to say that Taylor, despite his so-called outside the ring stuff, he looked like a 25-year-old in there today, man. He looked lively, he looked sharp, he looked quick, punching hard, he looked strong. And Taylor couldn't really, I think Taylor made a half-decent start. After 4 rounds, I think I had it 2 each. But I think after the 5th round, man, Taylor just took over. Sorry, Tia, I keep getting the names mixed up.
After the 5th round, after the 3rd round, he took over. In my opinion, like I gave Taylor a couple of those rounds, kind of.
No. I know why. I know why Laurie said the 4th, because the 4th round was a close round. Then after that,
4 rounds, I had it 2 each. But
the 5th round is when he got hurt.
Obviously announced the decision because Taylor's got all the belts. So.
Yeah, 4th round. Sorry, yeah. After the 4th round, yeah. Teofimo Lopez. I didn't actually hear what the scorecards were, but Teofimo Lopez has been given the decision. I can only presume it was a majority decision. They're putting the belts on him. Teofimo Lopez is the new champion and a well-deserved champion. I think we are all in.
He's well-deserved. The only problem I've got is now we've got to put up with more ish from him and his dad.
Yeah, but it's a good thing it's a good thing, man. He comes. He makes headlines.
Do you think a lot of that nonsense comes out when he's losing, and so actually when he's winning, he's a little bit more sensible?
Not really.
No. I think he's just trying to sell a fight.
I tried.
I think he's trying to sell a fight. I like where you're going with it, but I don't think.
Who's next? Who's next for Teofimo Lopez?
Before we do answer that question quickly, I do want to see that. Just talk about the power punches here. 383 to 194 power punches thrown, which really tells you the story of the fight.
You know what? That proves my point even more. When I'm saying it's very difficult.
I don't understand this. They've given
him the belts and they haven't made the decision yet. Like what? Imagine if he gets it turned away from him now. What am I watching?
No, that's his old belts. That's Teofimo Lopez's old belts. Because the Ring Magazine and the IBF and WB, those belts aren't even up for the grabs. Because I know the WBC is with Regis, the WB. The IBF is with what's his name, Matthias, and the WBA is with Rolly. So
he is now the new WBO champ.
This guy is going to be absolutely unbearable now that he's done this. You know,
and I can't
he's
wait
going
for
to
it.
be absolutely unbearable because he was unbearable before. Can you imagine what he's going to be?
Yeah, exactly. I admire. I like.
Well, James, there's something wrong. You like this? You like how he carries on? Come on.
Look, some of the stuff, like I said, crosses the line. Of course, it does. I'm not defending.
I'm actually quite worried about you.
A lot of the stuff he says are wild. A lot of the stuff he says is wild, but I would rather someone that's at least trying to create a spectacle. Yeah, I like a villain. I like a heel. Yeah? I like a heel. I do, but that's a different story.
Who's Teo gonna call out
next?
Let's see what he says.
Anybody, mate. Anybody.
Not anybody.
But you know, as much as I can't stand the guy, and I've said it, you know, on a few occasions now, so people know that I'm not gonna. You got to give him credit because he was outstanding tonight. He beaten a good champion in Josh Taylor. And not only that, he beat him comprehensively, thrashed him.
Yeah.
I didn't give Taylor a round after, I think it was round 5 or 4, was it?
No, you gave him 1 round, but it was out of generosity.
Yeah, I think I was
and then you gave round 10 as well, I think we gave.
But when somebody kicks your ass like that, you have to show him respect, which is what Josh Taylor, to be fair to him, he's doing now.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I do want to also give credit to Josh Taylor for his chin in that fight. He did show remarkable bravery to stay in the fight. He got clipped with a few big shots from Tiafimo Lopez.
Even in that last round, man, he got hurt to the body. He looked like he was doubled over. He took some...
Prime Wolverine. But no, the ability to stay in there throughout the entire fight for him with some of the shots he was taking, I have to give a lot of credit to Josh Taylor. I just think he was comprehensively outclassed in that fight. I think the level changing from Lopez, I think he looked sharper. He looked a lot more energetic. He looked more comfortable at the weight. For me, I know you're talking about the problems in making the weight. He looked more comfortable in the fight. I don't know if I'd want to say Josh Taylor looked drained. But as the fight went on, Teofimo Lopez was gaining in confidence. It never really looked like Josh Taylor was going to hurt him or cause him any danger. And as each round ticked on and on and on, Teofimo Lopez just more and more comfortable.
This is a bad night. I'll tell you why as well. This is a really bad night for Josh Taylor because don't forget 15 months ago, he fought Jack Catterall. He was a recipient of a really poor decision. He never gave Jack Catterall a rematch, which I thought was quite poor of him. And then he took this fight. He was expected to win. He was favourite. And not only did he lose, he got thrashed. And I think that's why I'm saying to Shane that his days at 140 are over.
But you're saying that like he's got. You're saying that he's got a better alternative.
Finish. I'll tell you what I was. He's lost comprehensively now to two guys at 140. He's already been. Hang on. Let me finish. He's already been undisputed champion at 140. So there's nowhere to go there. So you might as well move up to 147.
But you're saying it like it's a better alternative.
It is.
Okay then. It's a better. Provide a name. Provide me with a name.
He's already been undisputed 140.
Okay, answer my question, Laurie. Provide me with a name that's a better alternative. Go ahead, please.
Very good.
Provide me with a name at 147. That is a better alternative.
You can try and rebuild a fighter by putting him in with certain man. You know what it's like. I'm not saying he's going to win a title. I'm saying that his days at 140 are done.
But if you're not building a fighter of Josh Taylor's caliber to win a world title and fight at world level, what are you actually doing? This is a guy, a former unified champion. If you're not going to put him in there with a big name, who are you going to put him in with?
He's just treading old ground. And he's not even going to win back titles.
That's why I would retire if I was him. I wouldn't even. 140.
Shane, you know he's not going to retire. That's silly.
I'm asking you to tell me what would you do if you was managing his career.
I would find him a couple of fights at welterweight that he can win and try and get his confidence back.
And you're telling me when you look at 147, you feel like this dude, the guy who just lost to Teofimo Lopez, has a better chance of winning a world title at 147 than 140.
I already said to you, didn't I? I said I don't think he'll win a world title at 147, but his days at 140 are
So
finished.
what is he doing at 140? What's his purpose at
He's trying
147?
to rebuild his career. He's trying to rebuild a
So
career.
he has more chance rebuilding a career at 147 and 140 when you got one bag of killers.
Hang on, to be fair, at 140, we know that he's had problems trying to make the weight. He did look good on the scale, looked like he made it, but then he's lost every single round for the entirety of the second half of the fight, being outpunched, outworked. I know that Teofimo Lopez is a really good athlete, but completely outworked and outmatched. So I think what Laurie's saying is that, yeah, there are bigger punchers and scarier people up at 147. He may well get KO'd, but he's putting himself at a real strategic disadvantage by killing himself to make 140 time and time again.
I think it would be suicide for him to go in and fight anyone at 147.
I hear you, but Laurie's saying it may also be the same suicide to try to go in and fight other people at 140.
It's less of a risk, though. It's less of a risk for me because I don't think you understand the level of competition at 147. I don't think you guys realize how good. But the guys at 147 are pound for pound the best fighters in the world. Not at 140. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The point I keep trying to tell you is, what if you're Taylor? What is the point of staying at 140? You've already been undisputed champion. You've lost back-to-back fights comfortably at 140. A weight that you've been struggling to make the weight. Everybody knows that he struggles to make the weight. Yes, he did it a lot better this time, but the performance in the ring was worse than the Catterall fight.
I know.
So he has no option. If he's going to stay in boxing, he has no option but to move up in weight. And I'm sure that's what he...
Are we agreeing then that we're seeing regression, which is what Shane said earlier? Are we starting to see regression because we're seeing somebody whose performances are getting worse? Now, maybe it's not. The argument against it being regression is that Teofimo Lopez is higher level competition than Jack Catterall, so maybe it's not. But we're seeing this trajectory. Are we calling this regression now? And if
of course.
It is regression, but we all know, right? All four of us know that boxers are the biggest excuse makers in the world. So hang on, let me finish. Can you let me finish? So what will happen, right, is after this fight is finished and a couple of days have sunk in, the excuses will start to come out. I'm dead at the weight. I couldn't get myself going in the second half of the fight. My legs had nothing in them. Like, you know it goes, Shane. You know
I know, but I'm not thinking.
So what I'm saying is, right, he has no option but to move up in weight. I'm not saying he's going to go up in weight and win a world title, but in order to revive his career and take on
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
So you think he's going to retire?
I don't think he's going to retire. You said to revive his career. To revive his career. If we all agree that he's regressing, why would you make the challenges harder? That doesn't make sense to me.
At 140, I don't get it. Why would you say?
Okay, you said let you finish. I'll answer this question for me, please. Why would you make the challenge harder if he's a worse fighter than he was 2 years ago? Why would you make the challenges harder than it was then? Why would you do that? Because anybody who fights at 147 is better than Tiafimo Lopez.
Right? Can I?
Whoa! No.
What are you talking about? If you fight, is Errol Spence and Terence Crawford not a better fighter than Teofimo Lopez? Yes or no?
Debatable.
You're on crack. You're an absolute crack. I don't know
if I can answer that question, right? What I'm saying to you is, if you've already held belts, he was formerly the undisputed champion, right, at 140. You just had back-to-back defeats. Okay, the Catterall fight, they gave you the decision, but everybody in the world knows you really lost that fight. Tonight, you got comprehensively beaten up and schooled by Teofimo. So that's back-to-back losses. If you're Josh Taylor and Josh Taylor's camp, you're thinking to yourself, because he's been talking about moving up in weight from time, right? He's been talking about moving up in weight, has he not? You know he has. He's been talking about moving up in weight. I'm saying nothing left to prove at 140.
But I asked you a
So if
question.
you're
You're
gonna,
still refusing to answer my question. You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. You answer my question. I
If
asked
you're
you
going to
this
stay in
question 3
boxing,
times.
if you're going to stay in boxing, he needs to move up in weight. I'm not
Right.
saying he's going to beat Spence.
Well,
and
Guys, someone asked in the chat. LMS Live said, "Does Taylor beat Keith Thurman at 147?" Because I don't think so.
No. But
Keith
this
Thurman.
is the thing, though. This
The
is
thing is, you guys are having an argument between. You guys are having an argument between what he's going to do, which is he's going to move up to 147, and what he should do, which is he should just leave it because he's not going to be a competitive fighter at the top level of 147.
But thank you, Nick. This is what I'm saying. Laurie just said that what's the point of going after titles you've already held? And I'm saying I hear your point, but there is only 2 belt holders at 147. Only 2. So in order for you to get an accomplishment at 147, you have to fight the current fighters at 147 who are champions. And I'm telling you that the fighters at 147, even the fighters who aren't champions, are harder than anybody he will face at 140. So why would I take on a harder challenge if I'm getting worse as a fighter? Answer that question, please, Laurie, for the third and final time.
About how
Very simple for me
he feels at the weight.
That's very simple for me to answer. Very simple. Because a guy of Josh Taylor's ego is not going to put it down to the fact that Teo schooled him. He's going to put it down to the fact that, or not the fact, he's going to put it down in his head that he struggled at the weight. So he's going to say, I want to move up in weight because I can't fight at 140 anymore.
I asked you, what advice would you give him?
I would bet my mortgage on it. Wait a minute. I would bet my absolute mortgage on it that is what he's going to say in the day.
I agree. But I asked what would you advise? I didn't ask what he's going to say.
To move up. I would advise him to move up. I would say to him, the first thing I would say to him, get your brain scans and all that. Make sure you know what I mean, because he took a bit of a beating tonight. No, you laugh, but this is what I would say. And then second thing, I would sit him down and say, do you want to continue in boxing? And if the answer is yes, I'm saying, listen, if you're going to continue in boxing, 140, you got to forget about it. You need to move up in weight. You're 32 years old. You've been doing that weight for 10 years or whatever it is, or how many years. You've won championships at 140. You're coming off back-to-back losses. You didn't look good in either of those 2 fights. We need to find out, is it you regressing or is it the weight? So
and I
think that's a very interesting thing, and I think we could go back and forth for hours about whether Taylor can do it going up, whether you think he should or whether you think he shouldn't. But obviously, he did lose the fight today, and the winner was, of course, Teofimo Lopez. So I think I'd be remiss if we didn't quickly touch on what I think should be next potentially for Teofimo Lopez, the victor, and what you think his next steps are in the
right? What fighters tend to do when they've won the world title like that is to try and get I wouldn't say easy, but a very winnable first defense. Because now that he's won the title, let's not get it twisted. The other guys out there, man, is shark-infested waters. They're going to be calling him out.
Do you think that's what he did with George Kambosos? Do you think he was looking for an easy defense?
No, that was a mandatory. That was a mandatory. That was mandatory.
No, but he had a verbal agreement to fight Devin Haney. And
but you can't fight Devin Haney over a mandatory. He was a mandatory. It was his mandatory. So he had to fight him.
Because even
we said that John Ryder was a cherry pick for Canelo, and that was his mandatory.
No, but the reason why that's different is because Canelo had 2 mandatories. Benavidez was his mandatory, and he chose to fight John Ryder. That's the difference. There was only 1 mandatory for what's it called, and it was the IBF. IBF will strip you straight away. They don't play when it comes.
I seem to remember there was an agreement in place for him to fight Devin Haney, and he didn't take the Devin Haney fight, and he took the George Kambosos
because
fight.
He would have been stripped. He would have been stripped of his IBF belt. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He would have been stripped.
But in any event, he took the Kambosos fight, and he got well beaten.
But do you see him taking someone this time round who you think he sees as an easy?
He might try and get a unification with Rory.
That's what I would do. But you know what? I think we've got to go back to Nick's point, which is maybe Teofimo Lopez needs these big fights to rise to the occasion. Because he can fight another dude that's less of a level, and we might see another Sandor Martin performance. Maybe he needs those tough names to actually motivate himself and actually get into the ring and actually put on a good performance, because his best performances have been against two of his best opponents.
Because these that's what I was gonna say. You know, people like him, very, very arrogant. It's all in their head, similar to Tyson Fury. And you give him these names, and he believes in his own source. He's not gonna train. He's not gonna prepare. He's not gonna have it the same. He's not to the same level of intensity as he will when it is a world title fight. We've seen that.
I would try to get a Rolly fight if I was Teo. Him versus Rolly would be a good seller, and it's a unification. So,
for me personally, I think it's a case of that Kambosos fight. You know, I think he was very shocked at the way Kambosos fought. I mean, Kambosos, very, very wildly spoken upon. Obviously, the first round hit him with a big shot, definitely earned Teofimo Lopez's respect, and that fight did not go the way that anyone really saw that coming. That was, fair to say, a huge upset. And since then, he's had out of the ring issues. I'm not going to touch too much on that. He's also had that defeat, which affected him a lot. And he was 23, 24 years of age, which is very, very young in the grand scheme of things. I know you can look at other world champions that are very young, but I'm just giving an overall account. I'm not saying that's the main excuse.
He's the same age
all these things
at
that young. Yeah, as I said, you can talk about these crazy examples and these ridiculous feats that people have managed to accomplish at a young age, but that doesn't change the fact that he is still a young man. His body isn't fully developed. His brain isn't fully developed at that age. It takes you until you're 25, 26, 27. No, it's not. You're still growing into your body. You don't fully end up. Your body does not fully mature until you reach your late 20s. And
let me ask you a question: is he not older than Devin Haney?
I will finish my point before I answer your question. The point is people are very harsh and jumping on him when he's a young age. I think he needed a little bit of time to regain his confidence.
Very harsh.
Fights against Campbell. I'm talking about when you're talking about the Sandor Martin performance, or you're talking about the Pedro Campbell performance, he needed time to rebuild his confidence and regain himself. I don't put it down. You could put it down partly to the fact that maybe he needs a better opponent to raise his level. I put it down to the fact that he was low on confidence after the Kambosos fight, and he needed a couple of fights to pick up his confidence to get himself back.
If you ever have kids and you want to put your kids into combat sport, don't let them go to the same boxing gym as my kids, blood, because your kids will get dusted, brother.
Absolutely never in a million years. I would dust you, and my kids would dust you.
That mentality that you've got,
strong blood, mate.
Dust your kids.
Never in a million years, mate. Your kids will be wiping their shoes, son.
Can I ask you a question, James? Is Teofimo Lopez not older than Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson? That's all I want to know. Yes or no? Is he not older?
It's an irrelevant argument.
You are blaming age when I'm seeing people who are younger than him accomplish more, and they don't have any.
How you're twisting your thing? Because someone does something phenomenal at a young age does not change the fact that he is still a young guy. People's brains and people's bodies develop at different rates. I'm not using that as an overall excuse as to why he lost the fight. I'm saying that sometimes at that age you need time to rebuild your confidence. He's a young guy. He's a young kid.
Because let's wrap this up.
We will start to wrap this up, but those are different arguments anyway.
They are, because I think we're going off into
a bit of a tangent, but
we should
just quickly before we do end, though. Like I said, I do want a quick few words from each of you guys. Where you guys think Teofimo Lopez should go next after this fight?
Like I said, I think what will happen is they will find him a winnable first defense of the titles, and then the serious discussions will talk about unifications. I'm pretty sure that even though he won well tonight, it's not going to frighten the likes of Regis Prograis or Subriel Matthias or any of the top gunners at that weight, or even if Devin Haney if he moves up, because they're going to think. Because let's face it, man, Josh Taylor, as good as Teo looked tonight, Josh Taylor looked awful. And when you consider as well that he looked awful against Jack, then a lot of people, not saying myself, they're going to look at that and think, okay, you won, but you beat a shell of Josh Taylor. I'm a different dude entirely. That's the way boxers will look at it. They're not going to say, oh, God, you looked amazing. Wow, what a fighter. I'm scared. they're going to say, yo, you beat a guy that's shot, basically. That's what people are going to say. That's how boxing works. So the likes of Regis Prograis will be calling Tio out. And let's face it, that is the order of boxing. That's the way it works. That's the way it's supposed to go. But like I said, if I was in his brains trust, if I was in his camp, which I'm glad I'm not, then I would be trying to get in a first defense that is very winnable. Keep that gravy train going and go from there.
What about you, Shane? Final thoughts on the
fight? I personally love the Rolly fight. I think it's a winnable fight. And I also feel like it's a unification. It's another big name. Rolly does sell fights as well, so that's a fight I'll be going after. Apparently, this is the last fight that he has with Top Rank, so it will be interesting.
True. Apparently, Bob Arum said he's got another couple fights with him.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know what his dad was talking about then, because his dad must be on drugs, because he was just saying that he's free to go wherever he wants after this fight. Dad must be on drugs, but we move. If he is staying with Top Rank, then obviously they're gonna try and put him in with someone in house. I can see them putting him in there with someone like potentially as a Pader, potentially someone who they know he could probably win, maybe a Jose Ramirez, but I do think that I would be going after Rolly Romero. That's a unification and a big name. So,
what about you, Nick? Final thoughts on the fight and where you see Teofimo going after this?
Impressive performance from Teofimo. He did everything that I thought that he wouldn't be able to do: win and come through. Not serious adversity, but like we touched on, 4 rounds in, it was 2-2, 50-50 fight in the first third, and then in the second 2 thirds of the fight, he was able to really pull away. And like I say, Josh, even when he was winning rounds, they were competitive rounds and just didn't really impose himself, like that's the thing, Josh Taylor's going to go home, look himself in the mirror and realize that Teofimo has won that quite easily. He didn't even make him have to get off the canvas to win or have to really, recover from wobbled legs. So Josh probably going to feel a bit frustrated with himself. But for Teofimo, I mean, obviously, look, big performance, some fighters need the big fights to put out the big performances. Maybe he's one of those, I want to see him go back and fight. I know it's a step down in weight, but I want to see him fight the Haneys and the Shakurs and fighting Rolly. I know that's probably what's going to happen. That doesn't excite me personally. I know I want to see the best fight the best.
He might even fight. I don't know what James will do then, but Ryan Garcia said he's moving up to 140.
I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think it'd be the press conferences.
That is so funny, Laurie. What you said. What is James gonna do?
Hey, you're saying this like I speak just from the heart. I speak from the brain.
You're gonna be simping on both ends.
I don't simp on no man. Okay?
To be fair to James, you are the only one who got it right because
exactly, and I was still holding smoke. What's going on here?
I did say, right, that Nick and Shane, they were far more sure than I was. I always said that if you look back at when we did the DR boxing show in the week, I said it was going to be a very close fight, very well contested. But I've got to admit, man, I'm surprised at just how bad Josh Taylor was tonight. Because
I don't think it was bad. I think Tio was just that good.
I still can't work out, I'm being honest. If Tio was that good or Josh Taylor just is not that guy anymore.
I asked that question, is Josh Taylor not that guy anymore? Because that doesn't look like the Josh Taylor that fought Regis. It don't look like the Josh Taylor that fought Regis. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's
what... And I think that's why the move to 147, he has to make that move if he's going to stay in the sport because he's not got it at 140 anymore, bro.
But that's what can happen when you take 15 months out of the ring. But the debate will obviously rumble on.
He's going to just basically call that early retirement package because them dudes will kill him.
Will he go up? Will he stay? Will he retire? I think we'll find out a lot more information as to his reasons as to what happened, and obviously information from his coaches.
You guys think it was a good fight?
I think it was a great fight. It was a phenomenal fight that we all watched here.
I don't think it was a good fight.
It
was a phenomenal performance by Tiafimo. Phenomenal performance by Teofimo Lopez, and I thought he was very exciting in there. It wasn't as competitive as a lot of us would like. If you judge a fight on its competitive merits, then
potentially it was a very good fight. I wouldn't say it was a very good fight.
Let's say it was a very good performance, and for me, I thought it was a very good fight. And the fact I was
the first 4 rounds was
how I watched how I saw Teofimo Lopez's performance. But like I said, man, it will be obviously a debate that rumbles on long into the week. Was it Teofimo Lopez's masterclass? Was it Josh Taylor being done? What does he do after? There are so many questions, so many questions to be answered. And obviously, with more information through this coming week, we're going to be able to give a more honest and accurate evaluation on this. So make sure you're locked in to DR Sports Boxing.
I just want to say as well before we go, all the people who have stayed up to watch the stream with us, thanks very much. I'll see.
Right, we've got some legends in here. Marco, Jack Napier, 6J Fawanga, X Carlos 77, Mikey B400, some regulars in here, some new people. Absolute legends, whether you stayed up till 5:44 a.m., whether you watch from Australia or America, Uzbekistan, wherever you're from, mate. Thank you guys so much. We do really appreciate it. If I was to give my final, just quick closing thoughts, I would say I thought it was a phenomenal performance, as I said, by Teofimo Lopez. I don't think Josh Taylor was quite at the level I thought he was. I thought he looked a little bit drained, and I just think that there was just too much of a gulf in class. Form is temporary. Class is permanent. But I do want to say thank you guys. As Laurie said, thank you guys so much for staying up and watching. There's so much to talk about, and I want to see you guys on the next DR Sports Boxing Weekly, giving us your thoughts and feelings down below. I want to say thank you so much to Shane, Nick, and Laurie, as always. Yeah.
Just before we go, I just want to tell the people out there that next week, Friday, there's a big fight taking place at the York Hall. Adam Azim, young up-and-coming so-called superstar from Slough, England. He's fighting a guy called Fania in his rise up to the top, hopefully. We will be covering that fight. We will be covering the media day workout on a Wednesday, and we'll be covering that fight on the Friday. We'll also be talking about the fallout from the fight we've just seen. And I just want to say to everybody, thanks for being on the stream. Thanks for hosting, James. Thanks, Shane and Nick. Nick's struggling a little bit with the allergies, but he showed a lot of toughness, as much toughness as Josh Taylor showed. Nick showed in staying up.
A little bit. Thank
you very much.
A good amount of toughness. And thank yourself, Laurie, for coming on and giving
and I'll see you guys.
Analysis. As always, absolutely. I couldn't put it any better myself, but thank you guys so much. As I said, England, America, Uzbekistan, wherever you came from, absolute legends. Shane, Nick, and Laurie, all pulling an absolute shift at 5:44 a.m. Teofimo Lopez is the victor. A lot of geniuses like myself predicted that was going to happen. But as I said, we're going to see so much in the coming days and hours as to what the reasons were and what the potential fallout of this fight is. So much to talk about on DR Sports Boxing Weekly. Thank you guys so much for coming along. It's been James, it's been Nick, it's been Laurie, it's been Shane. Make sure you're locked and loaded this week. But for now, see you soon.